Hello, today we will talk about Interop. So for Clojure as hosted, or in other words parasitic lang, it's a great benefit to have a nice interoperability with hosted language, either Java or JavaScript. And for all such type of languages, it's nice to have easy and clean interoperability. For example, you can compare how Elm Interop with JavaScript. Elm is trying to be a Haskell, a declarative pure language, but JavaScript is an imperative language, and therefore it's a nightmare to make a friendship between such different universes. But Clojure, it's an imperative language. So it's functional. It's not a controversial thing. It's very imperative, it has instructions, and that's why Clojure Interop based on Java is so useful, and that's why Clojure can use all the existed Java libraries and Java infrastructure. After these beginning words, let me introduce my little experience on a very small example, which is a part of a big task, which I implemented for solving some problem I can share you maybe later nails. But for now, let's imagine I need a performant stack implementation, mutable stack implementation. I had a choice what to use as Java collection for stack. Java has a stack class. It's subclass of vector, but I have read some info about it. Let me show you here. Unlike the new collection implementations, vector is synchronized. If its thread-safe implementation is not needed, it's recommended to use Arraylist in place of vector. So I have read this and a lot of such type of suggestions and decided to use Arraylist for self-implementation of my own stack class. Because I do not need synchronizations, I do not need a thread safe, it's a local mutable variable, and so on and so forth. So Arraylist doesn't have such methods as push and pop, but it's no problem. It has method add and has method remove. And you can see in the code a simple implementation: stack push, stack and value. It adds value to the end of Arraylist and returns the updated Arraylist. And stack pop, for simplicity and for more visual purposes, I also returns updated stack, not element itself. So removing by index and returns updated stack value. So let's evaluate some forms into this code. Creating a new Arraylist. Looking inside it, it's empty Arraylist. Start a cycle with range from 0 up to 4 and push each index into the stack. Look again into the stack and see we have 5 elements: 0, 1, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we can evaluate pop function, which returns updated list, not element itself, but it drops the last element, 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 0, and now it's empty list. And for now everything works fine, and it looks fine, and it works fine. Interop is very nice, and everyone is happy. And now I'm asking you one little question: is everything okay in this code, in this implementation, in this part? I know that this question is too wide and too common, but if you wanna think something about it, please stop the video a little bit and try to find out maybe some tricks, maybe some points, maybe some corner cases where this implementation can be not so right. Yep. So please stop the video and think. And for others, I continue. Let me show you another thing. For example, we will add string concatenation of letter R, letter and index here. Redefine array list, fill it with 5 values, and now our stack has 5 elements, A0, A1, A2, A3, and so on. And we are trying to pop them. Oops, nothing was popped the same, nothing was popped the same, and again. So the pop function isn't work. Yep. And again, let me show you, if we will fill the stack by the numbers, but not from 0, for example from 1 up to 5, and then let's pop the elements. Oops, he excluded 4th elements, not the 5th one. Again 1 to 5, again 1, 5, again 1. That's not the right behavior. And that was a big hint for those of you who wasn't guessed what is the trick under it. And that's the second chance. You can stop the video and try to find out what's the matter, what is the case, and what is the reason of such type of mistakes. Oops. And for those who decided to continue, let me introduce you some interesting points. One clever guy who implemented this Arraylist interface found out that it's a very genius solution to have polymorphic methods. For example, method remove has 2 implementations, with integer argument and with object argument, but totally different bodies. If we call method remove with integer argument, it removes element by index. But if we call remove with object argument, it removes the first occurrence of the specified element. It's very nice in Java world, because Java world is a typified world. We know every type in Java code, and we can rely, is it integer type, primitive, or it's an object type. But if we decide to implement a parasitic language based and hosted on Java, and if this language will be dynamically typing, such as Clojure, for example, we can have a problem. Which exact remove method compiler of Clojure should find out. It can be based on the type of this argument if this method was founded out in the runtime using reflection API, if we do not some type hints, as we do here. We do not any type hints, and that's why runtime have to search every time this method. And let me show you some interesting details. For example, if we ask which type is count of our array list, it's type of integer. The same type is size of it. Actually, the count implementation of Arraylist is asking size method. It's integer. But we have to have a last index. We have to have not a whole amount of elements in the Arraylist, but decremented it as last index, because indexes started from 0. And type of decremented count is, it's type of long, not integer, but long. Because Clojure values by default number values are long, and decrement function converts converts from type integer up to type long, and here are the same. And the number literals are also a type of long. That's why if we use such naive method, decrementing of count of collection, it returns type of long, not type of integer, and that's why the exact remove method was going to be found out, the second one, not by index but by object. It's a very tricky thing. How we can cure it? Yeah, of course, we can add type hints everywhere, and it would not be so bad. More type hints, more safety. So, as you see now, I type hints of Arraylist type as agreement, as returned value of the function. Maybe I can add it here, because our whole function also returns Arraylist. And there I use count of collection, decremention it, getting integer value, and also add an extra type hint here. So that's noisy ways due to genius of who implemented that polymorphic remove method. And also for now, let me re-evaluate these methods. Again, creating array list, looking for it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then pop function excluded 5, excluded 4, 1, 2, 1, and the same point if we will have, yep, and then 2, 1, 0, that's it. And now it works. So this nail was about just not to forget type hints, and not don't think that type hints are only for performance purposes and only for avoiding reflection in runtime, because in runtime we do not know the type of the arguments. It's also about finding the right method, because you see that it's very critical to find out the right method if Java class has two methods with the same name. So that's it. See you on the next nail. Bye.